Okay, it is the early hours, March 29th. You can see a view of our sun, and we do have some news this morning. And you can see the energy travel right across the sun here. We're going to have a pop over here, and you can just see it travel right over here. We're going to get a pop here. Pop goes down over here through this coronal hole or through this developing area and filament, and right over here into the incoming region. And then we get a flare over here, or in a long duration flare, and a let go of a plasma filament. If you watch real close here at the end, here, I'm going to take this up here. Let's toggle that. You can see the roping filaments coming up. Let's see what they do. There was the flare. Just before the flare, you could just barely see it right here. Whoop. Oh. Okay, let me see if I can get that to stop. Let me find it again. Oh, goodness. Now I can't find it. There's the M class. There is a really big X class right there. You can see it really big right there. It's just not going to let me see it. It's not locking down. Just in between the two flares, there's a looping filament that lets go right down in here. And it's not showing up real good on this speed, but there is a real big looping filament that reached down here and snapped off. So we are going to get a CME off this. And it's just before the big X class flare. Yeah, we do have something. You can just barely see it, but it's there. Right there. You've got something going down. And this is Earth. Yeah, this is not going around the limb. It's coming back towards Earth. You could see it. Oh, let me see if I can stop it. Oh, right there. You could see this is coming right this way. It's coming off this way and brightening this way. You could see it right down in here. So we're getting a brightening in this region. So this is swirling back this way. So I would look for this to actually hit Earth. And as a flare, it could hit tonight or tomorrow. As the CME portion of it, it's going to take a few days to hit. We have a tremendous amount of energy over here in this looping filament from these sunspots looping back here. We have a coronal hole right here developing. We have another one trying to open up here. We have a plasma filament right here that I do look for to release. It's been a tornado of energy right there, and it's been really lifting off the surface of the sun. I look for that to develop. We have a long, very weak, but very starting to develop coronal hole that lasts from about up here all the way to down here. That will be earth facing in a couple days. So in about 5 days, that stream is going to hit us. So look for that about the 3rd or the 4th. And we have looping filaments we can begin to see here. So we have a sunspot region coming here, possibly one right here. And then we have a very large sunspot region with a lot of energy coming around the limb right here. And these are all connected. The energy is shooting from one spot right across the bottom to the other. So these are very active, and we still may see activity even though the sunspots are rotated around the Earth's limb. There's filaments and stuff that can still snap off and hit us in the next couple days. Now, looking at the solar flaring, last night we had an M class flare leading into a small M class flare about 7:30 last night. And about 7:30 last night, we did have a CME. Then we have this, it is a C going into a M 9.6 flare, topped out at a X 1.2, and it didn't calm down for about 2 hours. So this was a 2 hour long flare. This is a significantly long flare. We want to look for more activity to come than we expect off this flare. And like I said, just prior to the flare, there was a CME that did kick off from that, and it does look like it's more backward spaced. We do stay elevated. If you notice, we are still staying in the C class range. We do not dip back down, and it does go right back up into an M3.5 or 1.5. So that is also considered a long duration flare because it does not dip back down. So it's a long duration C into an M class flare. So we want to consider that very active activity. So we are going to get probably a nice steady wind out of it. Looking at our sunspots coming around the limb or going away from us on the limb, all of these are down to an alpha class, but they are still producing. And this spot is kind of producing it out straight towards us, not away from us. So this spot is shooting sideways and kind of shooting off to the side versus more out straight. So it's coming back towards us. You can begin to see some bubbling and stuff here where we should see this in the next couple of days, and the construction of the sunspot here. All in all, we've got a lot of filaments and stuff in here. Let's look at our corona holes. It's not quiet by any means on the surface of the sun. We should be getting a corona hole stream because we had this corona hole stream. We should be in this excuse me, this corona hole stream. This one should be heading us tonight or tomorrow. We have a corona hole stream trying to develop here, and we have this corona hole that is developing here, and we have filaments that are connecting all of them. We have very large filament connections, which tells us that all those areas are very energized, very connecting, and feeding off each other. And this spot is feeding all the way back to the sunspot behind it. So we have a very good electrical connection, a lot of electromagnetic energy there. And we, just because we don't see anything on the surface of the sun at this time, doesn't mean it's going to be quiet. Because there's still stuff on the surface of the sun. It's not going to be quiet. Looking at our CME, we did have a CME. It is going slightly sideways, but it's also coming out. It didn't shoot it straight out from the sunspot. It kind of shot it kittywamped. So it came out kind of sideways in the sunspot. So it is coming a little bit back to Earth, and we could tell that by the way we're getting plasma moving all the way over here more than we are getting it over here. There's a lot of it coming this way still. So I do look for this to impact us, and we can tell that if we go and look at our Embro spiles. And we have we had a large eruption that went off and away from us, but you can see here how it's spiraling around, and we're catching just a wicked catch of a storm. We're catching the glimpse of it as it tickles us on the one side. And then we are going to go right down this tube and get caught by some wind later next week beyond where they're predicting here. You can see we had a major eruption going off the back side, and it is very wide, very big. That was probably the big March storm, and maybe we should be really thankful that didn't hit us because that can do some damage. That thing's ugly. That could do some damage. But we're still getting plenty of activity enough to give us something right there. And it is, when both of them are agreeing that we're going to get a tickle off this and we're going to stay in a spot where we're going to see activity, that's a good thing. Now, looking at a view from northern Michigan, and it's going to change slightly for Minnesota, Wisconsin, I realize this. So you're going to be slightly ahead of what we are. Friday night, we may be partly cloudy. You still may be able to get out and get some stuff for tomorrow night. But Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, you probably will have rain and snow mix. It's March came in like a lamb. It's going to go out like a lion. We got to have the bad weather. And it's a tail end winter. We're giving old man Winter his eviction papers this weekend, so he's got to go. By Wednesday, though, on the 3rd, when the umbral spiral is predicting that we're going to get more plasma, that we're going to get hit with the coronal stream, and we're going to see the possibility of seeing stuff, we're supposed to be clear for the next couple of days. We're supposed to be partly clear through the 7th, and then by the 8th, we're going to start clouding up. And we'll have 4 days of showers and rain. But then by Permer's Almanac is predicting by mid-April, we're going to start seeing nicer weather. And so if we have a little bit of a bad weather in between quiet times and when the sun really picks up, that's okay. We can live with that. So what are we going to work on? Well, I would like to see you guys start banking opportunities. Every fall, Scenic Michigan has a photography contest. And I will do some videos and I will work on some things to help you start training for that. And we have some wonderful shots here. And this is an amazing shot. Taken by Jennifer Suela up at Newaygo Park. Beautiful shot. Jennifer Gowinski in Manistee. Beautiful shot. Sherry Burkholder up at Headlands Dark Sky Park. Patrick Russell, a good astronomy shot. I really like seeing some people trying some astronomy. And that is one thing our group really needs to try, is doing some astronomy shots. It doesn't always have to be auroras. We have an amazing dark sky for astronomy and Milky Way and stars. You can get out and practice on other things. It doesn't have to all be auroras. We have a wonderful cloudy night here at 40 Mile Point Lighthouse by Jennifer. Another Patrick Russell here at Old Mission. Oh, he's at Cross Village. Okay, he's at Cross Village. Shooting star there. Or it might be an airplane, but Mary Acker, beautiful, beautiful shot here at Beaver Island. This is amazing. Stunning shot here at Beaver Island. A super blue moon by Mary Acker, Beaver Island. She did a beautiful job on that. And, of course, I haven't racked up another year on the list of Scenic Michigan wins. But I'm getting tired of being the one that always wins. I want to see some of my people up here giving me some competition. So you're going to start working at this, people. I want to see some of my people up here on this winning. We need to make this a really stiff competition. Okay. Look forward to probably May. Will probably be pretty good. Maybe the first part of June. And then, from the tail end of August to into October, we always have really good storms. And that's when you want to start banking your vacation time and you want to plan. We always have big, good storms then. So you really want to work because we're going to get better and better from here on out. And you want to get out there and practice. Aurora hunting is about observation. It's about looking at your numbers and going out and observing what the weather is doing so you understand these storms. So you understand what nature is doing. And it doesn't mean just, oh, the numbers say I have auroras and that's what I see. Understand what the magnetic field lines are doing. Understand what the weather is doing and how the weather is impacting. Get the big picture. Really dig in here and learn, people, because it helps you be a better photographer. Because if you understand that I'm getting a really big storm, I've got a really super big aurora storm going on, but I got really crappy, cloudy thunderstorms coming at me. But I know that with a super solar storm, there's a lot of electromagnetic energy, and that thunderstorm is going to be bigger, and the lightning in it is going to be fabulous. You could be out there shooting lightning safely, mind you, in a car. But you could be pivoting what you do to get something fabulous. Okay, you don't have to stick to one principle. You can use what you learn to document more and create more. Dark sky photography or scenic night sky winners doesn't say it has to be auroras. Could be lightning, could be astronomy. You could be out there shooting a moon, astronomy, the Milky Way, thunderstorms. There's an immense amount of things you could be working on. Get out there and work. It's about patience. It's about having the patience to sit and observe. Wait for it. It will come. You have to have the patience to put yourself in the right place at the right time. And you have to have the persistence to keep trying even when you fail. Get back up and do it again. Get back up and do it again. Even if you think you might not get something, you get up and you do it again. That's how you get the good stuff. That's how you keep winning. And that's how you get the really amazing shots. So get out there this year and work it out. I want to see you guys on Scenic Michigan. I want them to have so many good pictures that they have trouble picking the winner. I want to see them having so many good shots that they have to do an entire special website just to dark sky photography. That's what I want. I want them to have to do a whole special edition just for special dark sky photographers. And I want to see them have to go in depth. I want to see them have to come and get your stories because you guys are that good and you're that interesting. So get out there and shoot and work at this in persistence. And I will start trying to put out some educational stuff on how to get better. Okay? To how to fine tune, to pick good locations, and how to really lock into doing what you do well. So, everybody have a good weekend. Start getting into getting your gear packed up, ready to go, developing a plan. If you're new to this, well, then You need to start learning. You need to make up your mind you're going to learn. Doesn't matter if it's a cell phone or a camera, you still have the opportunity to do photography of dark skies. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars to get out and do this anymore. If you need help finding a camera, if you're at that step that cell phones are not enough and you want to find good cameras, please contact us through our Facebook page. We will be happy to help you locate a good camera and at an affordable price. You know, if you can't go new, if you can't pay a fortune, do not go get something out of a box store and think that's your best option. Stop. Sometimes buying a used piece of equipment is far better than buying a commercial grade camera that's not going to give you what you want. Buying a used full frame camera that's going to give you what you want is sometimes better, but you got to know where to find them. They're out there, you can find them, and it's better to buy that full frame for the close to the same price as that back store new camera. So come see us, we'll help you. All right, everybody have a good Easter. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will get on some learning this coming up here shortly.